Okay, so I've had the Apple Vision Pro for about 5 months now, and I wanted to go through some of my thoughts on this nearly $6,000 device. I've had the opportunity to use it thoroughly, and today I want to answer some questions. Is this a good product? Have I actually been using it, or has it been gathering dust? How does it compare to the Meta Quest 3, and should you go ahead and buy one? So the Vision Pro just now is about to be made available in Canada as well as some other parts of the world. Now, I actually wanted to get this early so I could get some nice long-term thoughts on it. So I had to run some absolute missions because this was only available in the United States. I had to get my eyes tested in the US pre-order and then accidentally get it shipped to a wrong address and then go ahead and pick it up over the border. But all that effort was worth it because I was able to thoroughly test this device and even show it to a bunch of my friends here locally in Canada and get their thoughts on it.
Dude, this is so trippy right now.
Oh, way. Oh, wow. That's so cool. Oh, wow.
Oh, that's sick.
All this just so you guys don't have to go through all this hassle. See how much I love you guys? Please subscribe. First and foremost, I want to go through my Vision Pro user experience. Look, right from the bat, this thing, it just feels surreal. Even today, to use this thing like 5 months later, all these windows floating around in your current environment and the way you interact with everything, the hand tracking and how it picks up and how it sees where your eyes are looking. Also, I'm consistently captivated by how intuitive everything is. The way you pinch and zoom with your hands and pull things apart, or even just scrolling, everything is just so natural and seamless. This is probably the thing that really makes this whole Apple Vision Pro experience, in one word, magical. The video quality is also incredible coming out of this thing. So that's one thing that I've actually been using this for, is actually watching movies and TV shows on it. The resolution is the best that I've seen on any Vision device. The web pages, the videos, the text, it's so crisp.
This is hands down the cleanest text I've seen in a VR headset, period.
But there are a few things that did kind of dilute my experience just a little bit. Firstly, using this in low light is not the best experience. The quality feels like it's a little bit degraded, or the screen is sometimes just way too bright and your environment is really dark and it just seems a little glaring sometimes. And it also sometimes struggles to see your hand movements in the dark, since it's literally like the cameras that are on the bottom of this thing that are picking up your hand movement. But the worst problem that I have is the reflections. Now, I don't know if this is because I wear optical inserts since I wear glasses, but man, these light hits and reflections, I can't show you them on camera, but they're very distracting. And the other thing that a lot of people ask me about is eye strain. Now, it is a real thing, I will say that. Now, you feel it especially if you are using this in low light environments, and I have some friends who have also complained about migraine issues and stuff like that, and how this device was like basically not even usable for them because they would get really bad headaches. So this could be a concern for some people. However, for me, to be quite honest, eye strain has not been a huge deal breaker or a huge pain point, and thankfully I haven't had any migraines either on my end. Now, whenever there's such a big product launch like this, there's always certain things that are somewhat gimmicky and certain things that are actually useful. I'd say, for example, the Immersion, I wouldn't say it's a gimmick, but it's really cool, but only for the first couple weeks. After that, I didn't even use it personally. Also, FaceTime. I haven't FaceTimed anybody ever since the first week of using this thing, and that too, I FaceTime somebody just for testing purposes. Other than that, it's just much quicker to just pull out my phone and FaceTime someone. But the things that weren't gimmicks for me, first of all, and I'll get into this in more detail, is like mirroring the Mac display over on the Vision Pro and using that with the keyboard and mouse. This thing was actually a fantastic experience. Browsing web pages and viewing content or entertainment or 3D movies and stuff like that, not a gimmick. Absolutely incredible. One of the best experiences that I've had. But also, I really see the potential for this. We've all seen those demos of like people watching F1 races and how the entire race can come alive in your living room, or people playing golf with it and showing the angles of the ball and whatnot. These are just applications that really improve your quality of life. And not to mention, I love how the windows literally stay wherever I put them. It's absolutely incredible. Next, let's talk about connectivity and compatibility. There's a few pain points here that I wanted to quickly mention. My biggest pet peeve with this device, if I was to mention one issue that absolutely drives me insane, is the fact that I cannot connect this with USB-C to a computer. I think this was a huge miss on Apple's behalf. Like, why did we leave that out? Because the only way now that I can interact with this, or I can like put content on here or transfer stuff onto here, is like through Airdrop, which by the way has its own bugs and issues. Like, it keeps disconnecting when I try to transfer from the Mac to the Apple Vision Pro, and you also have to keep the Vision Pro on your face. The second I take this off of my face, the Airdrop stops working. Now, people have figured out workarounds like keeping like a piece of paper on the eye area and then taking it off, but come on, man, that's just so bootleg for like a $5,000 device, right? Unfortunately, that's how I've been using Airdrop. Now, I want to get back to the feature that I mentioned earlier about connecting to the Mac with the Vision Pro. Now, using the Vision Pro this way was a nice experience. For example, if you're traveling a lot and you're in hotel rooms, you don't want to be using your 14-inch or 13-inch MacBook screen, and you can't really lug a monitor around with you on the flight. But if you take the Vision Pro, now you can have a humongous screen right in front of you. And the cool part is Apple is actually bringing even more options in their beta now to increase the screen size. You can make it like ultra wide, you can make it curved, and they're increasing resolution, reducing latency, and tweaking this a lot more, which makes me very excited. Next, I quickly want to touch on the build quality and design. This thing feels incredible. The second you pick it up, you know that this thing is expensive. From the glass front to the aluminum casing and the silicone or soft touch sides, and even their take on the strap, the way you tighten it and loosen it, it's all so well built and thought out. But here's the thing, for a device that kind of restricts your viewing but uses movement and motion, it's kind of scary to sometimes wear this around and do certain activities in your Vision Pro because it's just so expensive. There's been times where I almost like walked into the side of a wall. Right now, imagine if I made contact with the glass casing on the wall, like that probably would not have ended well for me. Or even how sometimes like these pieces attach to the Vision Pro, like for example, the thing that blocks the light. This thing is really cool because it magnetically attaches and it feels high quality, but an unsuspecting person picking the Vision Pro up could easily drop it if they were to just hold it from there. But all things considered, I think the most annoying part in terms of the build quality and the design of the Vision Pro for me is the cable. The cable and the external battery pack. It's a universal known fact that everyone finds this super annoying.
This cable kind of
That was my issue.
kind of gets, you know?
Yeah, you gotta throw it at the back. I wish that somehow Apple could get rid of that, but also when I wear this on my head, then I'm sometimes glad that they didn't build it into the actual headset because this thing is already quite heavy. Now, speaking of weight, is this thing heavy to actually wear over long periods of time? Yeah, it does apply a lot of pressure to your face and it does feel a little top heavy, but I got a solution for you guys. That's where the sponsor of today's video comes in. It's called Annapro. Right, so this little piece that you see on top of the Vision Pro that I have here, it is a $40 accessory that helps reduce the pressure that the Vision Pro actually puts on your eyes and your face by spreading the weight to the top of your head as well and basically giving you more comfort for longer term usage. Now, looking at this actual strap, this thing is flexible yet soft. It feels quite sturdy, but my favorite part is the minimalist design. It literally looks like it's part of the Apple Vision Pro. It's like an Apple accessory almost. And my favorite part is that it actually works with the Apple Headband, which I absolutely love. I didn't want to take this off and use Apple's proprietary strap, which doesn't look as cool as having this on. So I love that I was able to keep that on and attach there. Now, Annapro also in the box provides a couple different options for the cushion that's on here, which is nice. Overall, I highly recommend this accessory. If you're grabbing the Vision Pro, this thing is like a game changer. It does make it more comfortable to use the Vision Pro over time. My only gripe with it is when you put it on, it does kind of like disturb your hair, so it is gonna press down on it a little bit. But yeah, for long periods of usage, it is worth it. One of the things I forgot to mention completely is the battery life. The battery life on this is it's manageable. It gets me like a couple hours at this point, but I do find myself constantly having to be in this sort of position. Hold on, let me show you what this looks like. So I have like a portable charger plugged into my actual battery bank that's powering this, and then this is powering the actual headset. If you do go on flights and whatnot, then you're probably gonna have to get like a power brick in order to keep this thing topped up. Now, before I get to the conclusion of my entire experience and to answer the question if I've actually used this or has this been sitting on the shelf for a while, I wanna talk about the competitors and compare this to the other devices. Now, the Quest 3 is a device that constantly gets brought up whenever you talk about the Vision Pro. And I made a whole video comparing both of these, so if you want to dive into this deeper, see how they compare and which one you should get, then you can go ahead and check that out after you watch this video. But you can do a lot with the actual Quest 3, like moving windows around, etc., having pass-through for a fraction of the cost. I was actually shocked and surprised at how good the experience on the Quest 3 was for the money that you're paying, right? The Quest 3 from a value standpoint is absolutely phenomenal. It also has hand tracking. You can also move things around by pinching and taking it with you. The Vision Pro does feel more fluid, albeit, but the Quest 3 is not shabby at all. They also come with these two controllers, which are nice, and it makes gaming a lot easier, which makes sense because in my mind, the Quest 3 is marketed more as a gaming device, whereas the Vision Pro is more so a premium entertainment / experience device. But because the Quest 3 is focused so much on gaming, it already has a huge app library of games and apps that work really well. The Vision Pro App Store is building and it's growing, but it's still lacking a lot of key apps like YouTube, for example, compared to the Quest 3. Now, let's kind of conclude on all of this thing. So to answer the question, have I actually been using the Vision Pro or has it been gathering dust? I'm gonna be honest with you. I actually haven't been using the Vision Pro a lot, and neither the Quest 3, also because I'm just not a gamer, so I don't really game on the Quest 3, but also with the Vision Pro, like I've just been kind of on the go. I've had a lot of stuff going on in my life right now as well. Just tune into some of my vlogs and stuff and you'll see what I'm talking about. But if I'm honest with you, like I just found it a little bit of a hassle to always have this battery bank charged and have it and carry it around, plug it in, boot it up, and then enjoy an experience versus just pulling out my iPad Pro or my MacBook and watching something quickly and then calling it a night. And from the standpoint of using it with a Mac, the idea of it, like if I was traveling, I could see the benefit of using this and taking it with me, but then I also kind of have to carry it in this case, and like I don't know how I'm gonna fit all of it. I'm already carrying camera gear and I'm already packing light, and then now I gotta carry this like, you know, Vision Pro, which is also really expensive, and I don't want to like, you know, damage it or drop it or leave it behind in the airport. There's a lot of things to think about. But at home, for the most part, when I'm editing, I pretty much will probably prefer to just edit on the monitor 8 times out of 10, simply because I don't have to have something strapped to my head. I don't feel the extra weight on my head, and also the color accuracy and me being able to gauge the colors and stuff like that, it's just better on a screen. So these are just thoughts that you will actually experience as a long-term Vision Pro user, which not a lot of people will talk about, because when we first got the Vision Pro, it's a brand new device, everybody's excited, and it's easy to kind of get carried away by it. But having actually used this for the long term, these are my honest experiences and thoughts. But don't let me take away the magic of this device, because it definitely is a product you just have to experience. And you know, watching content on here also is, it's just incredible. Now I want to answer the other question we posed at the beginning in the intro, which is, should you buy one? You, the audience watching this video. Look, the Vision Pro costs a lot and the experience is definitely incredible, but the question is it worth the dollar for the average person? Look, I'm gonna tell it to you straight. Basically, what you're paying for here is the R&D cost of this entire device. The way I see the Vision Pro right now is this device is meant for enthusiasts, early adopters, trendsetters, or people who just like using products that are on the bleeding edge of technology, and maybe they want to comment on it like reviewers, or simply just experience it. It's honestly like a dream come true for the tech early adopters, because it's like getting to play with the iPhone years before the iPhone became the iPhone, or even touchscreen devices became mainstream. It's also really handy for people who are developers and people who want to build business ideas or apps around the Vision Pro. Like, you're basically getting your hands on future technology much before the mass consumer adoption happens, and that can be quite beneficial if you wanted to get ahead. But yeah, as it stands right now, for the average consumer who just wants to experience AR and VR, the price is a bit too exorbitant right now for what it is and what you're getting out of it. But then again, who am I to comment? There's nothing like this on the market in terms of the quality that you're getting out of this, and it literally brings a smile to my face every single time I put it on and I use it. I love how intuitive and fluid it is, and I keep using the word magical, and that's what it is. It's a magical experience. It's hands down one of the best tech products I've had the pleasure of using in a very long time, and it still gets me very excited. To wrap it up, my advice would be, if you're just in it for the experience, you want to see how it feels, walk on over to the Apple Store, check it out for yourself. You might be blown away, and I can guarantee you will be blown away, but then you can make a safe and sound decision whether you want to buy it or not, and delay the next month's mortgage, but at least you'll make an informed decision. As for me as a tech reviewer, this thing was a no-brainer and will likely, in my opinion, go down in history as the first gen product that started an entire generation of technology. I genuinely see this becoming the future. But other than that, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Are you picking this up, or are you sticking with the Quest 3? Or do you see yourself picking this up in the future? Or if you have one, how do you use it? And until then, I will see you guys in one of these two videos.